Coming from Nepal, wearing a tie was a prestigious job where people used to think, oh, wow, he or she has made it. So the desire actually started just wearing a tie. Started as a housekeeper, helped me financially to survive. And in 2018, we purchased Quest Werribee. The big inspiration for me is my family. They've always believed that I will do something in my life, not forgetting where you started and also not forgetting why you started.
You make your vision into reality. Welcome to my podcast, My Migrant Soul. This is Imran Abul Kashem, serial entrepreneur, former journalist, and personal branding expert. In this podcast, I'm going to interview entrepreneur and professional who makes their dream into reality and who dive more into their stories and their strategy, how they make it. So today I have a very special guest with me. His name is Amol Kasaju. We are friends for the long time. I know his personal story, but he will also share how he became from a room attendant to the franchisee owner of Quest Werribee. Amol, welcome to my podcast.
Thank you, Imran. That was a great and humble introduction. Thank you so much. I've known you for a very long time, and I am truly grateful and thankful to be in a podcast. I am a little nervous, my first time, but look, I'll be myself, and I'll be talking to you as a friend. And ignore the recording part so that I can be not nervous. But now, thank you so much for having me.
One of the things we work in the personal branding is like be authentic.
Yeah,
Be authentic who you are. You don't need to be Elon Musk. You need to be you.
yeah.
So if it is you and if it is me, we can talk.
All
And,
right.
and with this talk, and I think the listener will get lots of outcome with you. So please tell me about your story and like from who you are now.
My name is Amol Kasaju. I was born in Nepal. I came to Australia in 2009. When I came to Australia as a student, I started as a housekeeper. Back then, when I started as a housekeeper, it was purely to generate some income and help me financially to survive. But sooner, as I was doing my housekeeping job at Quest Apartment Hotel, we used to pass through the reception. As I would pass through the reception every time. I would see a guy or a girl wearing, if it's a guy wearing a tie and if it's a girl wearing a scarf, a suit, and I wanted to wear a tie. So coming from Nepal, wearing a tie was a prestigious job where people used to think, oh, wow, he or she has made it. So the desire actually started just wearing a tie. So I wanted to wear a tie. Now that's when the journey really started. So I wanted to wear a tie. So I thought, okay, what do I do now? I applied for a role. But before doing that, Imran, I must mention you that I've done housekeeping within Quest, did maintenance, then did housekeeping supervisor. While I was doing that again, I what was next for me was that wearing a tie. That desire was in me, so I applied for it. Now, as you can imagine, coming from a developing country where English is not a first language, when I applied for it, the manager back then was kind enough to tell me politely that, well, your English or communication skill may not be there to perform that role. And I got that. I applied again. I got rejected again. I applied again and got rejected again. And that kept me wonder why. And then quickly, as the feedback was given, but I quickly identified until and unless I overcome this English speaking fluency or be able to communicate, there was no chance. So I had two options: whether I continue with what I was doing or start investing on me and learning and growing to fulfill my desire, which was wearing a tie. So I started to read newspapers, listening to news, and did a lot of bit and pieces with all the information I had, with the resources I had. Obviously, didn't had much of a resources, but with whatever I had, I started to work on me. And then there was a role, it's called a graveyard shift in the hospitality, whoever is listening this would not know that it's from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., where you don't need to talk to many people. And the property I was working back then was right in the city. So you really don't need to talk to anyone. It's more like admin, but you are there as physically. So I applied for it because I needed to get in to learn to prove myself that I can do it. So I applied for it. I got the opportunity, and I'm very thankful for that. And I did that for a few months. Um, After doing that, I realized there's a lot more than just wearing a tie. So that desire became more and more in me. So I wanted to do now a front office, like a AM and PM shift, where I could interact with more guests, more opportunity, more learning, and more growing. And I went and spoke to my manager. And obviously, from their point of view, now me being in this position, I understand. But back then I didn't. But I said, look, is there any likelihood possibility for me to do the morning shift where I could, or the PM shift, not the graveyard shift? Again, politely declined. And then one day, the AM shift, who was supposed to start at 7, called in sick. It was close to 7. So there was nobody who could pick up the shift. So I was so eager to get that one opportunity. I said, I'll do it. I did that shift, but nothing went right. Everything that possible you could think of went wrong. Um, and me being me, proactively went to my manager and said, look, I have the shift didn't go well. Do you think I'm going to get another chance? He just smiled, and I finished for the day and was going on with my regular graveyard shift. And then again, one fine day, the same opportunity came up. That shift went like as smooth as it could. Everything went right. So that was one of the sort of turning point for me. I started then doing front office. Once I did that front office role, and then did different roles within that, and then I moved to Melbourne as a front office. Now I do again front office manager, and then that's when I met my current business partner Natalie, and then I did in Quest Caroline Springs. I did as a front office manager, then did a property manager. And in 2018, we purchased Quest Werribee. The journey has been extraordinary, Imran, and I would not do any other way. I'm very thankful and at the same time, very grateful for what I have been given and the opportunity I've been,
I can share something with my
of course.
own story. Is like back to Bangladesh, where I come from. I was a newspaper reporter in a popular daily newspaper. When I migrate to Australia, I think like my language is good for communication,
Yeah,
but not for
100.
writing newspaper in a hurry.
Yeah,
And then I say, oh, how can I still be creative and writing and everything? uh, but like English improvement, it will take long time. I found like photography has a universal language and anyone can read.
yeah,
So I started
yeah,
my business, and
yeah,
from there I
yeah,
started one another and doing that. But it's a great story. When we have some problem,
yeah,
we have a different solution,
yeah,
opportunity.
yeah.
We're not stuck in somewhere. My question for you is how you make your vision into reality.
I think, as you've mentioned, it's very different when you come to a new country. Things are new. Again, English not being a first language, it's very hard to express, but also at the same time, it's very hard to find that balance. So when you say that the vision and reality, it's look, no, I don't believe any dream is big or small. When I had the desire to wear a tie, that's how it started. But when you have a dream, you need to also have a purpose. When I had that fulfillment of wear a tie, for me, now it was just not wearing a tie. It was more than that. I never realized that I would fall in love with this industry because um, I've never worked anywhere in my life. So I wasn't sure. And as I did mention earlier, um, working as a housekeeper was just as a source of income. But before even I realized it changed into my passion. So when you say desire and dream and reality, not forgetting where you started and also not forgetting why you started. I think that's very important, that why you started, because sometimes we get carried away, that we start something and we forget why we start. So we forget the purpose. But if we keep reminding ourselves why we started, that will keep us going and that keeps us motivating. That also keeps helping you to push yourself. Like as I said, once I started wearing a tie and I moved to Caroline Springs, Natalie um, believed in me. Natalie's mentored me. Natalie guided me. But when I was exposed to that side of the thing, my core purpose changed or evolved, if I may say. From wearing a tie, my core purpose now was to be financially independent or freedom so that I can look after my friends, families, and loved ones. At the same time, um, look after elderly people. And I'll touch base with this one. People sometimes laugh at me when I say that. And also at the same time, assist kids with education back home.
You started as a housekeeper
Yeah,
and you started as a job,
yeah,
and now you are the owner.
yeah,
So there is two perspective,
yeah,
like mindset of a employee
yeah,
and mindset of a owner
yeah,
is totally two
yeah,
different way.
yeah,
But what are the challenges you feel like when you are as a working there, or
yeah,
when you work as a owner?
yeah.
What are the challenges you face?
When I'm sharing this, I'm sharing what I have experienced, and sometimes it may not be relatable true for some individuals, but mindset was a big thing, Imran, for me. And I come back to say, and I think we've talked this off camera as well, is having a mentor is so important. I was lucky enough to have Natalie as my mentor, who constantly reminded me that mindset of being an employee and an employer. Now, as an employee, I'm not the last person,
Mm.
right? I always have someone I can go to.
Yeah.
And not in any other sense or just
Yeah.
not because I'm not accountable,
Yeah.
but there's always a last person.
Yeah.
But as a business owner, I'm the last person. There's no last
No.
person. So that's that's a big mindset that sometimes people have challenged to understand is I have the team, or it's not about team or individuals. You have to understand as a business owner, a lot of things, yes, you have the team, but it lies on you as well. You need to be an example. So when you say challenges, mindset was a big thing for me. But again, the other challenges is as a business owner, it's not about you anymore. It's about the team. It's about other people, everybody that's involved in that. It's about them as well. So whatever you decide, it's going to affect everybody. But as a individual worker, yes, it's going to affect the team, but impact may not be as big as a business owner. So I would say mindset was the biggest challenge. As a business owner, look, there are things that sometimes you may like, you may not like, but you gotta adapt, you gotta grow, but also at the same time, you gotta put you away from it and think what's gonna be good for the business. As a business owner, you have a good times, you have bad times. Every day is not the same day. But I say this often, though, Imran, is as long as you enjoy what you're doing, I think that's important. But yeah, mindset I would put on the top as a challenge when you are moving from an employee to an employer. And obviously, there are different verticals. There are things that you may not want to do it, but you have to do it
Yeah.
for business purpose. So there are a few things such as that. But it's such a amazing feeling to have that when you know it's just not you are succeeding or progressing, it's there's so many other people that gets touched by it.
That definitely every challenge give you opportunity.
Yes.
Anytime challenge is coming, and that create a new door as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
You talking about the mindset and
Yeah.
the inspiration. So during the like toughest time or during your starting, What was your mindset and the inspiration?
The initial inspiration was to wear a tie, definitely, no doubt about it. But as I got into that, the inspiration, as I said, my core purpose now is the financial freedom to be able to support my friends and families, assisting kids with education back home, and at the same time, assisting elderly people back home as well. Um, Now, I do need to acknowledge this that the other big inspiration for me is my family, my parents, who still lives back in Nepal, my younger brother, my sister who lives in America. They've always believed in me, and I'm not sure why, but they've always believed in me. They've always believed that I will do something in my life. But again, I do not know why, but I'm very thankful, and they always inspires me. I take every opportunity that I normally do. Is my story is incomplete without mentioning Natalie, who has been a pillar, who has believed in me when very less people believed in me. I was very young. So she's been another inspiration from. I look up to her and see what she's done more more in a personal level as a human than a professional level. Yes, professional level, but the human being sees. Um, but when you come back to inspiration, that's a people inspiration. But as I said, the three inspiration is financial freedom to be looked after friends and families, kids, and elderly people. And this hasn't changed for a very long time for me, Imran. And I think I've not sure if I've shared this with you. Even in today's time, with 2025, kids in Nepal, some part of Nepal, they still walk, I don't know, 2 hours, 3 hours, two way to go to the school. I see that, and sometimes um, I wonder why. And I guess I want to be able to contribute in the best possible way in my capacity, because we all know they are the future. Um, and this with the elderly thing, we all know that, right? It's a life
Yeah, life
cycle.
cycle.
Once they are old, the kids comes out.
Yeah.
Um, so again, I see here. I've been to few old age homes where there are facilities that can cater, but in our country, we may be looking at this size room, and there may be like 8 or 10 people staying in there, and it's not a good feeling looking at them, because people who are facilitating it, they are doing as well as because they love doing that. Nothing in there for them, but they still do it. And I see that. But people who are staying there, obviously they're in the stage of life where they don't realize people who are working there are volunteers. They're doing what they can. Sometimes they are scrambling to get funds to feed them 2 meals. So I see that, and that's really has somehow I get connected with those people, and every time I go back home, I try to visit that, but also as a family, we try to help as much as we can. So that keeps inspiring me, and coming back is not forgetting why we started and where we started from. That keeps me going, and yeah, reflecting back is such a powerful thing that we don't do enough.
I think starting with why is one of the things for anyone's life
Yeah,
or anyone business or personal life. If they have the why, they can do lots of things,
yeah,
and they can come from the authentic self
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
My next question for you is: in your business, you see lots of challenges.
Mm,
Even you see the pandemic and
yeah,
lots of things come to your
yeah.
life. How innovation and creativity help your business?
That's part of life, I guess. And coming back to your questions before that, as a business owner, or as as a team player or leader, it's very important. And the reason why is, if we don't do that, we'll fall behind. Just an example, um, and you were part of this as well. We did a refurb not long ago, or I mean, it's long now, um, where we just didn't want it to, when we did Quest Werribee refurbishment, we just didn't want it to just change the furnitures and do things, right? What we did was we wanted to sort of give sense of belonging to the guests when they come through our hotel or through our apartments. Um, so we did three part. One was when we finalized the furnitures, we did a mock room. We involved all the staff members. They tried it, tested it. You may see some colors or some stuff that was sort of chosen by the team members so that they again feel that sense of belonging. The other component was we went to historical society to source some historical photos, and then so that we could transport our guests back on time, so that they can feel connected. And then you help us clicking a real, a present time photos. By the way, everyone knows you there because you've done such a fantastic job. When you said that, we could just went gone ahead and done the refurb, right?
Yes.
But we sat back and thought, okay, what can we do? We're still doing the refurb, but also we connecting to the community. We're connecting to local people. We're connecting to local businesses like yourself. But at the same time, when our guest walks through that Quest Werribee corridors and room, they walk through the history. They, as you see, there's a black and white photo in the corridor. They get transported back. When they go into the room, boom, you've the colored photos you've done, and they go back and share the experience, right? When they go back and share the experience, and again, it's not about just Quest Werribee, it's about Wyndham and surroundings and Werribee. They would go back and talk about the area. So even if we can get one extra person from that initiative or that creativity that we all came up together, which you were part of as well, that's a win for everybody, right? So it's very important. With pandemic as well, look, I'm not sure if we're going to talk about it, but it was a very challenging time for all of us. We weren't sure what was happening tomorrow, let alone in few days. But I do want to. I know you mentioned about creative, but I do want to just touch base one thing because we've talked about the pandemic. That also gave us a big um, lesson on revisiting our purpose, but also taught us a lot of resilience, taught of us to step back and revisit what we're doing and think, okay, if we could have, because we did a lot of things in pandemic, right? So after post pandemic, we thought, well, we were doing it this way, but we did pandemic this way. Do we really need to go back, right? So all of creativity that was in us, by choice or by not choice, it came out. It really helped us to flourish business wise, but at the same time as a personal growth as well. Uh, During pandemic, and that's something that we um, often talk. Look, having that transparency to the team, to the guest, being open, and as a business owner, something that I learned during that time, Abdul, is it's okay as a business owner as well not to know everything, and it's okay to voice that out to the team, and it's okay to sometimes say, "Look, I do not know as well." That's so important. That was acceptance, right? And that brings, that will allow you to be more um, creative, but also at the same time it allows you to be more free of having that burden of having to know everything. We're human being, that's why we have people around you.
Without knowing the end goal, you're still jumping.
Yeah.
And I also follow Richard Branson, the
Yep.
Virgin.
Yep.
He said sometimes offer come, he don't know anything. That he just say yes. He just say yes and then find it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Find it out. So we do lots of things of that.
Yeah.
You have come to challenges, you overcome, you get success, everything. What you advise for the dreamers who are like come to new country
Yeah.
or who have a young like you got the young person of the year from the
Yes.
Wyndham Business Award? What is your advice to the young person or the dreamers?
Look, thank you, young business person. I'm not sure if I'm young enough, but look, thank you. I'll take that. Don't hold yourself to ask question, but also don't hold yourself to ask for the opportunity. And I've said this to you before. One thing that I admire about you is you naturally do that, and that's what I get from you. Is you have the mindset of there's nothing to lose, right? And I say that as well. There's nothing to lose. If you don't ask, 100% chance you're not going to get it. But if you ask, there's 1%. So why to even lose that 1%? So I say to people who are listening to this is don't hold yourself to ask the question and don't hold yourself to ask for that opportunity. Because if you don't ask, you don't get. But what's the worst can happen? You're going to get no.
No.
Is that bad that you're holding yourself to even get that 1% because you're going to get no? Now you're going to get so many rejection. Like that's part of life. If you're not rejected and if you haven't failed, you haven't even tried, right? And that 1% comes in that one. So I strongly say don't hold yourself to ask that question and don't hold yourself to um, if you see any opportunity, jump for it. Obviously you do your own research, you do your thing, but if you don't ask, you don't get it. So I would strongly say that. And I lacked that a lot at the beginning. I still remember this when I was in Sydney. I've been to Macca's so many times. And you know how you stay in Macca's, you queue up, and then you go to the station where you order? There's one person in front of me. As soon as they ask the order, like I used to turn around and run out. I've done that multiple times because I was too scared that they would ask me questions like, do you want upsize? Do you want a Coke? Do you want Fanta? Do you want whatever that questions could be? Multiple times. And now look, I'm talking to you about this, and these things should not hold yourself or you shouldn't be ashamed of. This is part of life. You learn, you grow, and the sooner you accept that you have things that can be improved on, the sooner you're going to get better. So, yeah, look, don't hold yourself to ask. You have to dare to, if you want to achieve something, you have to dare. And I'm not sure if I should say this, but I'll tell that as you grow, the appetite for risk taking will shrink. So you got to take the risk when you're in that age because you have that on you, right? Not necessarily for all, but I'd like to think the more responsibility you have, the risk taking appetite starts to shrink. And again, that's I'm just talking generally. So go for it. If you don't try, you do not know.
The other thing, like I feel like when you go to the deathbed,
Yeah.
you don't regret.
100%.
If you have a possibility, if you don't take action,
Yeah.
then you may have regret lots of things that why I didn't do it.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with that. And you don't want to regret. Life is too short to regret.
Yeah, and also like when you take action, and in the business world, you will agree with me. There's nothing to lose. Either you gain something or you learn something.
Yep.
There's nothing to lose.
No, there's nothing to lose. The only thing that is even if you lose something, but that's in your favor because you're gonna learn and then grow stronger from there. It's all about outlook as well, right? How you gonna look into it. It's like half glass empty and half glass full. So it's all about the outlook in life, and what's the purpose.
And also, like sometimes you are in the hospitality, the difficult client is the bigger listener
100%.
to you.
Yep.
If they're asking too many questions or too many things, you will learn a lot from that client.
Oh yeah, 100%. And you start to think, and you also when you get challenged, when you come out of your comfort zone, you tend to be more creative and more innovative because you want the solution.
Yeah.
I say this to my younger brother, very often. Whenever he comes and says, and I think I've said this to you, and this really triggers me. Whenever he comes and says, we can't do this, or I haven't been able to do this, I take him back when he was in high school, or myself as well. Again, I want to connect back to Nepal. Growing up, if we needed to do a night out with friends, it was very hard to get a permission from parents. So we used to make so many reasons, and we used to think from every angle to make sure we have that one shot to sell that idea that I am going to stay at my friend's place. We would try everything, right? And we would make it happen. So I said that to my brother. If you remember that, so if you come to me saying this, that, you do not want that hard enough, So if you really want it, you'll find a way. So go and find a way.
Yeah, that's I think if you really dedicated any business or anything, first you need to decide I'm gonna do it,
Yep.
and then you commit yourself.
Yep.
I will do it.
Yep.
And then last thing is taking action.
Absolutely.
Without that, you can't move
No.
anywhere. I always ask when I get the successful people in front of me or I talk, I will ask more about the work-life balance
Yep.
or work-life harmony
Yep.
or how you manage yourself, how you look after yourself. Because in the business, you have to take lots of time
Yep.
thinking, and sometimes it's too many things to do.
Yep.
But how you balance it?
At the beginning, Imran, I want to be very honest on this one. At the beginning, um, there was nothing called work-life balance. Why I say that, and it's not reflection on anybody, in reflection on me, because I wanted something so much, um, and I knew that I had so much things to work on me to get my end goal. And if I don't prioritize my work in that period of time, I would fall behind. And again, it's on me, nobody else. Um, so, but now though, work-life balance is very important. One of the beauty of being a business owner, it's the business model set out in a way that allows you to give the liberty to do what you want to do at your time, but at the same time, have a structure in a place where it allows you to work efficiently with the support and resources for the outcome that you work. I tend to now find that balance very well. Something that I love doing is waking up very early and reflecting back. It allows me to sort of remind me where I started. And also at the same time, it allows me to look after myself, spend time on myself. That could be working out in the morning to taking my dog for a walk or spending Saturday and Sundays with my families. But at the same time, the work has given me the freedom to be able to go and see my parents and my loved ones at least once a year or twice a year. The balance is on individual. You make the time to find the balance. That's how I've sort of learned.
Another thing you shared me before, I would like also your mom.
Yeah.
If you don't talk your mom, you say
Oh, yeah. I can talk about family, my family throughout the day. I'm very close to my family.
Right.
I try to make a time, if not every day, every second day, to talk to my mom and my dad, and who lives in Nepal. My sister who lives in America. So morning time is dedicated to my sister who lives in America because of the time. And when I drive back is for my mom. So if I don't call her the second day, she thinks sick or I've lost and I haven't spoken to her forever.
Yeah.
But it's only been the second day. So and it's very important to have the bonding with the family. And also it's very important because they are the families are the one who gives you love and support unconditionally, but also have no expectations. Um, and I say this like kids and animals, pets, they love you so much. The only thing they want is love and food. Pets and kids when they're toddler, when they because they love you so unconditionally and there's no expectations. So it's so pure. So yeah, coming back to families, I love my families. They're the world to me. Without them, I wouldn't be where I am today. They've like a foundation, right?
Yeah.
The, when you build a house, you have a great foundation. You need to have that. That's what my parents, my family has given to me, and coming back, one of my core purpose is to the family, and yeah, it's the world to me.
That's a great inspiration, and I think a lot of things touched me and lots of people have like a family connection and where we come from. That's very important for our
Mm.
business and personal life as well. So, what are the current project now you currently working?
Look, there are a few things that we, as a business line, we keep on looking for opportunities and looking for exploring. But can I just say this though, Imran, is while we are looking for so many projects, we are looking for opportunities, spending a lot of time reflecting on myself. Why I say that is because that itself is a deeper project. And if you remember the conversation we had 2, 3 days back, right? I was asked a question, why I started, and I said the same thing why I started. But they asked me the question, "What's for you?" And I said, "Well, the purpose I said why I started, that's for me as well." But that's what I'm doing a lot is reflecting on myself, trying to really deep dive on myself, and also at the same time keeping eye open for any opportunity that may come towards me. Nothing is big or small. As you have rightly said at the beginning, um, we as an entrepreneur or we look as a business who are involved in business, we always look for opportunity, and with the right opportunity, um, we just dive in. So I'm open for it.
So, where you want to see yourself next 10 years? So that will be the next question from current to future.
Yeah, I definitely want to, obviously, there's two, let's break it down into two, right? So personal and professional.
Professional, yeah.
Personally, I want to see more part of the world. At the same time, I want to spend more time with my families. My nephew, we started to talk growing up too soon. I want to spend some time with them and again, have more quality time with them. Professionally, I would like to grow within the brand. I would love to have add additional Quest property within the portfolio. That's something that is a second step for me. In next 10 years, who knows? But as if you ask me what's the plan, is to spend more quality time with the families in a personal level and professionally to be able to add or grow within Quest portfolio. But at the same time, Imran, to be able to the way I was given opportunity, the way I was mentored, the way I was given the time by Natalie, I would like to do the same. I would like to spend time in developing any individuals that may cross my path, and perhaps like me, who, if they have that burning desire to have their own business, if I can contribute towards that individual growth, that's something I would want to do um, in a professional world. And again, will continue to work on my the purpose, three purpose that I had when I started.
What about emotional and spiritual life?
Emotional life is something that I have starting to realize a lot lately, Imran. And again, I'm not sure if a lot of people will be able to relate, but I can only express my experience, but also um, please don't forget though where I've come. I've migrated from Nepal, so I've lived. I was 19 when I migrated to Nepal, so 19 years I was in Nepal, and then now I'm here. So we, as a, when you said emotional first, we've never been very expressive in terms of that emotional side. So what I've realized is it's okay not to be okay. It's okay if you're feeling low. At the same time, it's okay if you are not feeling the best. As long as you have someone to talk to, as long as you have someone to express to, you should do that. At the same time, for me, I want to make sure I am emotionally available to my loved ones as well. It's always both ways, right? It can be. So that's one part is I want to be able to more. I'm I not necessarily express as much as I should. I get told by especially my sister.
She keeps on saying me, express more how you feeling. You got to express more what you're thinking, and you got to express and ask if for help. When I say ask for help, saying that it's okay for you to tell us you're not feeling okay today and why you're not feeling okay. She keeps on pushing me that something that I am working that lately. Spiritually, yeah, I'm not sure. Is there anything that you could perhaps suggest? I've never sort of
So the
explored.
country you come from,
Yes,
that's the spirituality is
yep.
the highest thing, I think.
Yeah, I totally get it. And um, when I go back, I still do things um, that I got to do it because my parents tells me to do it still. But I haven't really look. I believe there is good energy and bad energy.
Yeah.
I believe in karma.
Yeah.
Um, it evolves around. If you do good, it's gonna be good, and vice versa. Um, but really haven't sort of dive into the spiritual side. Um, Maybe who knows in next few years when you talk to me, you'll see me talking more about that. But at the moment, really haven't sort of sat back and thought
Yeah.
about it.
That's a great thing to learn from you. Do you have anything to see my listener who last thing you want to talk about today?
There's few things that we've covered, but I do want to um, share one story. One of the event that has really changed is when I was in Sydney, when we were talking about this Macca's thing going around. There is a place called Town Hall. I mean, we have town in Melbourne as well, but there's town hall in Sydney. I remember staying outside the town hall, and there used to be big stairs. Sitting on the stairs with my friends and wondering, what do you think it's in there? Like, who goes inside?
Yeah.
What do you think that hall would look like? Because we didn't know what was there and what's there. But in 2016, I was lucky enough and had the opportunity to go inside the town hall while I was working in Quest Caroline Springs. And because I was nominated for emerging individual within hospitality, it was HM Award. And I was the winner as a rising star for 2016. Why I said this is when you said dreamer and doer, right?
Yeah.
I was dreaming, sitting there and thinking, what do you think is inside? Talking to friends, how does it look like? What sort of people would go inside? Because it's a new country, right? But I was there. So why I want to say is you have to dream big to achieve. And what you've said, you can dream, but if you don't action it, it'll just be a dream. So to turn to reality, you could work towards it. You can have all the dreams, but if you don't have plan, um, it just will be a dream. Now, coming back to your question, Australia is such a beautiful country. Um, and obviously, some people have different experience. Some people have different. I've had an amazing experience to be in this country. This country has given me so much love, so much opportunity. And Australia is the country, if you're willing to work hard and willing to invest your time. Having said that, though, I equally feel very lucky that somehow I got a job in Quest Apartment Hotel back in 2009 and 10, where my personal value so much aligned with the professional values. It made it so easier because 2009 or maybe 10, let's say I started, this is 2025, almost 15 years. That's almost 90% of my time in Australia. That the workplace or the quest has made me feel or given me that sense of belonging because that has played such an important role to become who I am today. Um, and for people who are listening, it's very important not to forget. Again, I keep on saying where you started, why you started, but at the same time, making sure that you are doing everything you can, asking, grabbing that every single opportunity, because if you miss it, you don't want to regret, as you've said. You don't want to regret looking back, why didn't I do it? Or if I would have taken that opportunity, would my life become different now? Um, I say this with very pride that I'm very lucky to be in this country, and I would do it all over again, Imran. I would do with a blink of eyes, do it all over again, go through the same journey again, and I would enjoy as much as I enjoyed my 15, 16 years that I've been in this country, has been with the organization. And most probably, I would choose the same person, Natalie, as my mentor, because, yeah, she's been incredible to me and my family's, and everybody that has crossed path, any individuals like yourself, and anything that has um, been part of my life. We want to succeed. Persistent and patience is also key. You need to have patience. You see and you want to achieve today, tomorrow. It's not going to happen. People may look at you or any individuals who has achieved in their life and think, how easy it was or how quickly it was, but they don't realize the hustle, the time that you've gone through. Because you've got your own story. I've heard it. So that's me. But if we ending it before end, I would love to hear from you. What's your plan? I know you've sort of touched base in different verticals of your business. I've seen you grown personally and professionally as well. What's your goal, and perhaps your one tip to everybody that's listening as well?
One of my goal is uh, early retirement.
Yeah.
Means early retirement. It means it's like if I am anywhere, but still the business is
Yeah.
going.
Mm-hmm.
I can work from anywhere,
Yeah.
and I have multiple income
Yeah.
stream
Yeah.
in and multiple business
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
And also I have some big dream like writing books,
Yeah. Oh.
travel the world,
Yeah.
and also where I come from,
Yeah.
I have some commitment to myself to do something,
Mm-hmm.
and that will give me my fulfillment.
Yeah.
And I have some obligation
Yeah.
to fill up,
Mhm.
and also passing generational wealth
Yeah.
and generational well-being to my kids.
Uh, Kids are the purest form of love, right? You look
Yeah.
at them and you think, why wouldn't you do anything to them, right?
Yeah. But lots of people give the generational wealth,
Yeah.
but some miss generational wellness.
Mm.
So I want to give both
Yeah.
generational wellness and
Yeah.
well-being.
So when you say wellness, if we have time, so what do you mean by that?
Means like education,
Yeah.
family values,
Yeah.
and why you do it. Because if you don't have that, your kids has money, they will just get take your money as
Yeah.
like a token,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
don't value that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So family education plus starting with why.
Yeah.
That's why your parents do it.
Yeah.
They can go into the next level.
Yeah. True.
So that is my two things.
Look, you've always been such a big support system for me, Imran, and I am truly thankful. And your story itself has been such an inspiration for me and many other people that knows you, and that's been amazing knowing you throughout. It's been quite a number of years.
And thank you so much for your time, your valuable time, and sharing. You have so much courage to share lots of things that people normally don't want to share.
Yeah.
And so you show us that courage, and also I will definitely can say people will get lots of inspiration from your story, and people will get lots of valuable thing. If you are in country in the new, or if you are a struggle, you always have a hope.
Yeah.
So someone already done it,
Yeah.
or someone has lots of things. Your story could be different, but still, we are opportunists. We looking for opportunity. We're looking for solution. We're looking to improve other people's lives.
Yeah. Because something that I think it's you met very casually once in a conversation. You may not even know this. I not necessarily a person who share the stories because again that's my way of thinking is I don't feel comfortable sharing uh, what I've done and so forth. But you've made one thing very casually. It's when we share a story, it's not about you anymore. It's about other people. when you share a story, if even one person, forget about inspiration, but even if one person thinks it's not only he or she that's going through that circle of life or walking to the Meccas and hesitating to order, that's a win. So that has inspired me to share more story, my story. Even if one individual can gather that courage to go and order a Macca's, it's a win for all of us.
Thank you so much, Amal, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you.